El Paso, Texas was suddenly engulfed in an unusual silence moments before an explosion of emotion shattered the calm of the night. Inside the stadium, Taehyung and Jungkook stood so close that their breaths seemed to merge without a single word. The intimate gestures they shared, a protective embrace that felt far too real to be mere acting, sent shockwaves through the entire crowd, causing thousands of ARMY to cry hysterically. The emotions reflected in their gazes that night felt incredibly intense, almost dangerous, as if they were revealing a deep secret in front of the world, forcing every pair of eyes watching to wonder. Watch the continuation of this video and don't miss out. Before we begin, make sure you're ready to like this moment. Welcome to Taekook Files, the roar of the stadium. V and Jungkook opened the Ararang Tour with a warm embrace. A historic night unfolded beneath a stadium sky filled with a sea of glowing ARMY bomb lights. The long-awaited opening concert of the Ararang Tour officially began with a surprise that nearly stopped the hearts of tens of thousands of fans. It wasn't just fireworks, but also the presence of two iconic figures, Taehyung V and Jungkook, appearing together on stage. The stadium atmosphere, once tense with anticipation, suddenly erupted into mass hysteria as the spotlight focused on center stage. Without warning, V and Jungkook stepped forward with unmatched charisma. However, it wasn't their vocals that greeted the audience first, but a gesture of affection that showed their extraordinary closeness. Amid thunderous cheers, V wrapped his arm around Jungkook's shoulder, pulling the magne into a warm embrace that looked incredibly genuine. This moment of affection seemed to emphasize that the tour was about deep connection and brotherhood. The stadium instantly exploded with fan screams echoing far beyond the concert grounds. Still holding Jungkook, V took the microphone and gazed sharply at the crowd filling the stands. With his signature baritone voice and bright smile, he asked a question that ignited adrenaline. "Are you all ready to have fun with us tonight?" That short question was immediately met with deafening cheers that shook the foundation of the stadium. Jungkook, standing beside him, responded with a wide smile and a nod of agreement, multiplying the energy on stage several times over. This opening interaction felt like a promise that the night would be unforgettable for everyone present. Without giving the audience time to calm down, the atmosphere shifted drastically from emotional to intense. Heavy beats began to fill the air, signaling the arrival of the opening song, Run BTS. Known for its fast tempo and high energy, this is where the real surprise began, as V and Jungkook showcased their extraordinary professionalism. Once the choreography started, there was no trace of their earlier softness. Both transformed into fierce performers, leading the formation with full power and leaving the audience in awe. The choreography for Run BTS that night felt much sharper than usual. Every hand movement, foot stomp and facial expression from V and Jungkook appeared perfectly synchronized and powerful, as if they were competing to deliver their best performance while remaining harmonious as one. With his intense gaze, V executed every transition with deadly precision. Fans noticed that every detail of his movement carried a different weight that night. He wasn't just dancing. He seemed to channel emotion through every motion of his body. Meanwhile, Jungkook demonstrated why he is known as a formidable main dancer. His speed and execution of the complex choreography appeared effortless yet strong and aggressive. The sweat beginning to glisten on his face under the stage lights only added to the aura that drove fans even more hysterical. The peak of the performance came when V and Jungkook stood together at the front center. Their synergy created an incredibly powerful visual, pulling the entire stadium into the energy they radiated. Fans in the front rows reported feeling vibrations from every step taken on stage. The speed and sharpness of the choreography that night were truly on another level, proving that their hiatus had not diminished their technical abilities in the slightest. Throughout the song, occasional eye contact between V and Jungkook revealed strong nonverbal communication amid the exhausting choreography. This combination of professionalism and emotional closeness made the concert narrative deeply compelling. As the song ended with an iconic pose, the stadium once again roared with thunderous applause. V and Jungkook stood side by side, catching their breath, yet still smiling triumphantly toward the camera. They had just opened the tour with an incredibly high standard. The opening night of the Ararang Tour immediately became a global trending topic on social media. Clips of their embrace and sharp choreography spread rapidly, proving that V and Jungkook remain a powerful force capable of moving millions in a single night. The excitement didn't stop after the first song. The atmosphere grew even hotter as they walked toward the extended stage to get closer to the fans. From waves to intense eye contact, every interaction sent the front rows into hysteria. During a short talk segment, Jungkook expressed how much he missed hearing the audience's cheers live. V added that rehearsals for Run BTS were done twice as intensely to showcase a more mature and powerful side. Music critics noted that their synchronization went beyond dance technique. It was about emotional connection. Some choreography moments even looked as if they were sharing the same thoughts. The performance was further enhanced by impressive production visuals, including laser effects and fireworks perfectly synchronized with their movements. This successful opening marked a new chapter in their careers, proving that their greatest strength still shines when they stand together on one stage. Related hashtags quickly topped trending charts in more than 50 countries within hours. Fans described the moment as a symbol of happiness and hope. The stadium lights slowly dimmed, leaving only the shimmer of the army bomb ocean swaying like stars in the night sky. The music paused, creating a silence that felt long and tense. In that stillness, Taehyung and Jungkook moved closer to each other again, as if the world around them disappeared. No choreography, no direction, just two figures standing at center stage, their breath still lingering from the previous performance. Their eyes met again, longer this time, deeper, unreadable. Some fans even swore the moment felt more real than the entire show they had witnessed before. Then, slowly, Jungkook lifted his microphone, but instead of singing right away, he gave a small smile. A smile that seemed full of meaning, as if holding something only the two of them could understand. Taehyung beside him looked down briefly before turning back to the audience with an expression difficult to describe. A mix of calmness and deep emotion. The music began again, this time much softer. The intro of the next song created a stark contrast to the explosive energy of Run BTS. If earlier was a burst of power, now the stage transformed into an intimate, emotional space. As they began to sing, their voices blended in near-perfect harmony. No excessive movements, no complex choreography. Just vocals, emotion, and a connection that felt incredibly real. Every note sounded like an unfinished story, as if they were expressing something without truly saying it. The audience fell silent, immersed in the atmosphere. Some were seen crying, while others stood frozen, trying to absorb every second unfolding before them. Midway through the song, Taehyung instinctively touched Jungkook's arm. A small gesture, yet enough to spark a massive reaction from the crowd again. Jungkook didn't pull away. Instead, he continued singing, though his expression subtly changed, as if the touch gave him extra strength. The moment was clearly captured by the giant stadium screens, magnifying every detail so nothing was missed. Cheers echoed again, but this time not from energy, but from overwhelming emotion. As the song ended, they stood side by side, not speaking immediately, just small smiles and breaths slowly returning to normal. Taehyung then stepped slightly forward, lifting his microphone, but once again paused, letting the atmosphere speak first. "Thank you for waiting for us," he said softly, yet enough to make the entire stadium erupt once more. Jungkook added, "Tonight is the beginning of something big." And from the way they glanced at each other after that sentence, many felt those words carried a meaning far deeper than just the opening of a tour. That night wasn't just about music, not just about performance. It was about a moment that made tens of thousands of people feel part of something special. And if this was only the beginning, one thing was certain: the Ararang Tour still held many surprises yet to be revealed. But even after that emotional moment, the night in El Paso still had more layers of surprise slowly unfolding. The lights shifted again, this time to a dark red hue enveloping the stage. A low bass began to rumble, vibrating up to the highest seats. The transition felt like a warning that something more intense was about to happen. Taehyung stepped back a few paces, while Jungkook remained at the front. For the first time that night, the stage focus split, creating a new dynamic that immediately drew attention. The audience seemed pulled into an emotional push and pull with no pause. Then the beat dropped hard. Jungkook began his vocal part with sharper, almost aggressive energy, breaking the previous softness. Meanwhile, Taehyung entered seconds later with his deep baritone voice, creating a powerful contrast that made the entire stadium roar again. This choreography was different, bolder, more expressive, and filled with gestures that seemed to tell a story of conflict. Every step felt like a wordless dialogue, as if they were portraying two sides of clashing emotions. At one point, they moved toward each other with intense energy, stopping just inches apart. No touch, but the tension between them felt so real that the audience held their breath. Then suddenly they turned away. The movement was simple, yet its impact was immense. The crowd's cheers turned into hysterical screams, as if everyone felt the emotional push and pull being displayed on stage. During the bridge, the music slowed again. The lights turned bright white, revealing their facial expressions clearly. Sweat, heavy breaths, and sharp gazes, all unfiltered. Taehyung briefly closed his eyes while singing the most emotional part, while Jungkook stared straight into the camera, as if delivering a message to everyone watching. And then, the most talked about moment of the night finally happened. As the final note was about to end, Jungkook stepped closer without hesitation. Taehyung opened his eyes at that exact moment. They stopped at center stage, the distance between them gone again. No embrace this time, just standing incredibly close, too close. And that was exactly where its power lay. No grand gestures, no dramatic action, just a brief silence filled with meaning. The cameras captured everything, and the stadium fell completely quiet, as if everyone agreed not to break the moment. Then the music stopped entirely. 1 second, 2 seconds, and boom, fireworks exploded across the stadium, breaking the tension with a spectacular burst of light. Taehyung and Jungkook immediately turned toward the audience, smiling widely, raising their hands, letting the energy flow freely again. The cheers this time were even louder than before. That moment instantly became legendary. On social media, fans began analyzing every second, every glance, every small movement that happened on stage. Many called it one of the most alive performances they had ever seen. Not because of effects or production, but because of the raw emotion that felt so real. What made it even more intriguing? Neither Taehyung nor Jungkook ever fully explained what happened in that moment. And maybe that's what made it so memorable, because sometimes the things left unspoken carry the greatest impact. The night in El Paso ended with euphoria that lingered for hours after the concert. But for those who were there, one thing was certain: they didn't just witness a performance. They witnessed a living story. And if this was only one night of the Ararang Tour, then the world should be ready, because what comes next might be even more surprising. Thank you to everyone who continues to support. This video reflects personal opinions and interpretations, and is created for entertainment purposes only.